I was working a night shift when my wife, my brother, and my son were rushed and unconscious. The truth broke me. Sirens and silence. Hospitals are never quiet, not really. Even at 2 a.m. when the world outside slows to a hush, the fluorescent lights still buzz, for pumps beep rhythmically, and the hum of fatigue hangs in the air like static. I was halfway through updating a patient's post-op vitals when the intercom crackled. Dr. Nathan Hale to Trauma Bay 3. Code red. Multiple criticals. 2 minutes. My heart tightened. Code reds were always bad. But something in the dispatcher's voice. Something felt off. I dropped the chart and sprinted, white coat fluttering behind me, sneakers pounding tile. The ambulance doors burst open. Paramedics shouted vitals. Nurses rushed forward with gurneys. 3 victims. 3 bodies. I stopped dead in my tracks. First gurney. Blonde hair stained dark with blood. My wife, Lena. Second gurney. Blood on his jawline, eyes swollen shut. My brother, Alec. Third gurney, my son, Micah. Only 16. Barely breathing. My knees buckled. Micah! I screamed, trying to push past. A hand caught my shoulder. It was Dr. Reyes, our senior trauma physician. You can't go in there, he said, voice low but firm. That's my family. Shouted. My wife, my son, my brother. He glanced around, then whispered. You can't see them yet. The police will explain everything. Froze. What are you talking about? What does that mean? He looked away. And I knew. This wasn't just an accident. This was something far worse. Collision course. The police arrived 20 minutes later. 2 detectives in plain clothes with tight lips and eyes trained not to give anything away. While my team fought to stabilize Lena, Alec, and Micah, I stood at the nurse's station, arms folded so tightly my knuckles turned white. Finally, Detective Sloan approached. Dr. Hale, he said evenly. We need a word. I led them into the on-call room and shut the door. What happened? I demanded. He opened his notepad. At 1:15 a.m., a 2016 Honda Civic registered to Lena Hale was found wrapped around a guardrail just off Lakeshore Route 5. No other cars involved. That's 15 minutes from our house. Correct. All 3 passengers were unconscious. Paramedics reported signs of alcohol consumption in the vehicle. Several opened bottles and a key card from the Windermere Motel were recovered. I felt the earth tilt beneath me. Who was driving? He glanced at his partner. We're still confirming, but Alec was found without a seatbelt imprint. The front airbags deployed only on the passenger's side. You think my brother was driving? It's possible. I swallowed hard. Neither Lena nor Alec drinks. Alec hasn't touched alcohol since his DUI. And Lena? She has wine maybe once a month. Sloan didn't argue. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a plastic evidence bag. Phone. Lena's. It was unlocked, he said. And we found this. He tapped the screen and turned it toward me. It was a photo. Timestamp 12:48 a.m. Barely 30 minutes before the crash. Lena in a hotel mirror in a robe. Alec behind her, arms around her waist. His lips pressed against her neck. I stumbled backward, gasping for something that wasn't betrayal. No, I whispered. No, that's not possible. That's my brother. That's my wife. Detective Sloan spoke quietly. There's more, Dr. Hale. But you need to prepare yourself. This wasn't just infidelity. It may involve your son directly. My son remembers. By sunrise, Lena and Alec were still unconscious. Multiple fractures. Internal bleeding. Alcohol in their system. Micah, by some miracle, had stabilized. Concussion. Cracked ribs. Lacerations. But awake. When I entered his ICU room, his eyes fluttered open. Pale and dazed, but lucid. Dad! Choked on relief. I'm here. You're okay. You're safe now. His lips trembled. What happened? You were in an accident. With Mom and Uncle Alec. His brow furrowed. Yeah, I remember. I remember everything. What do you remember? Asked gently. He hesitated, then whispered. They were kissing. Froze. In the front seat, he said. Before we crashed. He blinked hard, tears brimming. Mom told me we were stopping by Alec's place. But then we pulled into a motel. She left me in the car for almost an hour. I got out and I looked through the window. He wiped his face. They were in bed together. I saw everything. I clenched the rail beside his bed. I yelled at her, Micah continued, voice shaking. I screamed. Told her she was disgusting. She told me I didn't understand adult relationships. Alec tried to calm me down. He looked away. She said we should talk as a family. Made me get in the car. Then they started drinking. In front of me. Like I wasn't even there. I stared at him, heart splitting in two. The last thing I remember, Micah said softly, was headlights. Then nothing. Fire in my veins. The moment I left his room, I wasn't a husband anymore. I wasn't a brother. I was a father, and a man with nothing left to lose. By noon I was on the phone with our family attorney. Emergency divorce proceedings. Immediate restraining order. And I want full custody. He didn't hesitate. I'll start now. The evidence was overwhelming. Lena's phone. Photos, messages. Micah's recorded testimony. Blood alcohol reports. Surveillance footage from the motel. That night, I sat outside Alec's ICU room. Stared through the glass. This was the man who held my hand when Dad died. Who gave a tearful toast at my wedding. The man who used to say I was the better one. And he still did this. Not with a stranger. With her. Judgment Day. By the following week, Lena's world had collapsed. The ethics committee at her clinic suspended her. Once they reviewed the phone data and incident report, she was terminated. Her license was permanently revoked. The local news caught wind of the story. A licensed therapist endangering a child, drinking behind the wheel, sleeping with her brother-in-law. The public wanted blood. Caleb's startup lost 2 key investors overnight. Their CEO issued a statement distancing the company. He was placed on indefinite leave. The courtroom was packed the day of our emergency hearing. Lena sat beside a tired-looking lawyer. No makeup, no ring, just ruin. When the judge asked for evidence, my attorney calmly handed over a thumb drive with photos and recordings, a transcript of messages between Lena and Alec, a notarized statement from Micah, a signed affidavit from a motel staff member, a nurse's statement overhearing Lena say, "I thought he was asleep." Lena broke down when the judge ruled. Full emergency custody to Dr. Nathan Hale. Restraining order extended. Criminal charges pending. She whispered. I lost everything. I said nothing. The ashes they chose. 3 months later, Caleb vanished from the state. No goodbye. No forwarding address. Lena moved into a cheap apartment on the east side. Lone. Disgraced. Blacklisted from every counseling practice in the region. One rainy afternoon my phone rang. Unknown number. Answered. Nathan. Her voice. I needed to explain. I stayed quiet. It wasn't about you, she said. It was about me. Felt stuck. Forgotten. Alec made me feel seen. Exhaled. While I was working overnight shifts to pay for your master's degree? I know I ruined everything, she whimpered. Maybe if you'd just talk to me more. Cut her off. Don't you dare blame me. You didn't just cheat. You got drunk with our son in the back seat. You put his life at risk. I just thought maybe, one day, you could forgive me. Pause. No. Forgiveness belongs to Micah now. And I'm not here to soothe your guilt. Then I hung up. That night Micah and I sat on the porch, stars glittering above. He asked, "Do you think people change?" I looked at him. "They do," I said. But sometimes only after they lose everything they thought they could never live without. This wasn't just about betrayal. It was about consequences. If someone you love turns your world upside down, you don't always get closure. But you do get a choice: to rise from the rubble, or let it bury you. Chose to rise. Comment below. Was I justified in exposing them? What would you have done? Like this story? Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories where betrayal meets justice, and every secret finds its shadow.